I've got a pelvis, I've got a pelvis, I've got a pelvis, and we're going to talk about your pelvis because your pelvis is so incredibly cool. I'm so excited to be here today, and I am so honored to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that I believe that every single woman who has either ever struggled, is currently struggling, or will struggle with vulvodynia needs to know and needs to make true in her body. Hey Casey, what's up? So lovely to have you here. I'm really excited that you are jumping on with me today because this topic is really important. So I have got my very special friend, Mr. Pelvis. I call her Pelvina Elvina, and she is gonna tell her a lot about the essential steps that need to happen for women to truly heal from vulvodynia. So in case we haven't met, my name is Dagmar and I live in a beautiful sunny southeast of Ireland, and I specialize on helping women heal from vulvodynia so they can fully and completely love their body. They can experience a greatest level of health and actually reclaim their sexual freedom. And I want to really start today's Facebook Live by offering something that I have been sort of digesting for the last few weeks very strongly. And that is the relationship between understanding that, hey, I have vulvodynia, and the very reality that vulvodynia is a condition of a nervous system. So in other words, sort of explained in a very simple language is, if I have vulvodynia, if I have, burning and itching and discomfort, it's some level of overreactivity inside of the nerves that are basically living in the tissues of vulva. I really hope that Facebook is not gonna shut me down just because I'm showing a model of female pelvis. I think looking at anatomy is really important. So basically you have nerves that are living in the tissues of vulva and in tissues of the pelvic floor, and if they are overreactive, if they are in a state of massive upregulation, this is what's causing the itching, the burning, and the discomfort. So when you go to doctor and he or she gives you antidepressants, or kind of worst case scenario, you receive a nerve blocks, ultimately what you're doing is you're shutting down the nerves themselves. You're shutting down the sensations, which is not a bad thing for like as a short-term solution, but it's not a long-term sort of doorway to actually healing your body and reclaiming sexual freedom. Because hey, if I have numbness in my pelvic floor, if I have numbness in my vulva, I am not gonna experience as a woman any sort of sexual pleasure or any sort of sexual connection with my partner. So as a woman who are conscious and as a woman who want to have like real doorway to healing and integration, it's really important to take more holistic and complete and integrated approach to looking at vulvodynia. So the step number one, the first essential step as it relates to vulvodynia, is to create and master what's called a neutral pelvis. So neutral pelvis ultimately relates to a position where your pelvis is at all the time, whether you are driving, whether you are sitting and having your meal, whether you're watching TV, whether you're walking, whether you are standing in a shopping mall. What is the resting position of your pelvis? Now, because of our sitting culture and because of a lot of time spent in the chair, in the car seats, for most women at most times, the pelvis is doing something like this. That is a tucked pelvis position in which their body lifts 24/7. Now let me tell you this, if your pelvis is chronically tucked, it's going to drive the nerves in the pelvic floor insane, because your nerves of the pelvic floor are responding to the position of the pelvis, the position of the pelvic bones, the position of the spine at all times. Your nervous system and your nerves, they want to be in their optimal resting length at all times. So if my body lives in this position 24/7, I'll create incredible tension patterns in my hips and my pelvis that from sort of like a muscular point of view and, like a tissue point of view, it's going to create incredible amount of force on the nerves themselves. And on top of that, and this is really important, the nerves won't be able to communicate efficiently to the brain. So getting your pelvis into neutral, which means, hey, setting my ASISs above the pubic bone in one vertical plane, it's absolutely essential step for getting your body out of vulvodynia. Now, this itself, it's not as simple task as my pelvina can show you, because your pelvis is at the bottom connected to the legs, and the top is connected to the spine. So if I am looking at resetting the pelvic position, it means I need to have incredible mobility in my spine. I need to have, healthy and supple and connected tissues of my legs. And I pretty much need to do like a whole body partial retraining, so my pelvis is able to both maintain, sustain, but also feel comfortable in this position. It's not only about forcing my pelvis to be in neutral, it's allowing this position to actually become a second nature to my body. So step number 1 for healing vulvodynia, you need to master a neutral pelvis position, which once again are ASISs above the pubic bone. So if this makes sense, this first step, give me thumbs up or share love with me so I understand, I am taking on board that you are understanding what I'm sharing with you and this makes sense. And if this needs a little bit of clarification, you can write your question in the comments below, because I really, really want you to understand this concept. I have a step-by-step video on how to position your pelvis into neutral when you're sitting. I have that on my YouTube, and I'll make sure to link the link to the YouTube video in the notes once I complete. So mastering your neutral pelvis position, absolutely non-negotiable. Now, the second essential step for healing vulvodynia is something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that I believe is very poorly understood in really the space of healing and in the space of going into treatment of vulvodynia. So Laura asked, do you believe in other factors aside from physiology, like flora? Do you mean, Laura, like a gut flora? If you can specify that for me, I'll be able to understand your question better. So the second piece is your nervous system. So what I want you to know is that vulvodynia, it's ultimately a chronic pain condition of the vulva. And when body is in chronic pain condition, whether that's chronic lower back pain, whether that's sciatic pain, whether that's vulvar pain, whether that's, chronic neck pain, the nervous system is in state of upregulation. So your nervous system, in a very basic language, have sort of 2 phases. It's either the upregulation is going from like 0 to 100, getting things done, exerting a lot of energy, bringing energy into the muscles and tissues,
And the opposite side is the downregulated state of nervous system, where the energy is being drawn into the organs, and the focus is on resting, healing, and recovery. So when I'm in chronic pain, my nervous system is 24/7 in the sympathetic response. Maybe not 24/7. Maybe there are, times when I have the scotch, or I have a glass of wine and I get a lovely hug from my husband and I feel like a little bit, relaxed and cuddled. But think about it, most of the time that I am up, that is the sense of upregulation. And what happens is that body is not able to direct the healing resources, or shall I say, trigger the healing response that is crucial if woman suffers with a chronic pain condition. So really the focus when it comes to healing the nervous system has to be, how can I activate my off switch, not when I'm sleeping, but when I'm actually in my waking hours. So throughout the day, as I get on about work and after my activities and take care of everything that's on my plate, how can I turn on my off switch so I can allow my nervous system to be lullabied, relaxed and balanced, and actually direct the healing energies into my tissues, direct the energy into my recovery, direct the energy into replenishing my nerves. So important. So a couple of weeks ago, I've done another Facebook Live where I have spoke and directly gave you a lot of insights on the pelvic floor nidra, which is incredible meditation for the pelvic floor that allows exactly this, allows that down regulation of the nervous system in a conscious state, in the waking hours. Another beautiful things that women can do is deep breath work, conscious relaxation, doing things like self-massage with the therapy ball work, doing things like melt method, which is taking, soft foam roller and actually activating the deep parts, the healing parts of the nervous system in a waking state. So there are a lot of means to get in there, but the key here is down-regulating and relaxation of the nervous system in waking hours. So much so that over time, over space of 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, you're actually kind of the resting state, the thinking state, the I am getting through my day around my activities and what I need to do is actually state of poise and clarity and relaxation and calmness. And this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is the critical step that my clients take that completely heals that vulvodynia at the root cause. Healing of nervous system is absolutely a game changer. So I know that Laura has, so vaginal microflora. So your question is whether I believe in other factors aside from physiology, like vaginal microflora. Yes, absolutely without a question. And here is what I'm going to offer. The vaginal microflora is part of your nervous system. So why I'm gonna say this, I am not a specialist in the microflora of the vagina, but what I do know is that when you support the nervous system of your vagina, which is incredibly rich, your vagina has been known as the third brain in woman's body because of the richness of the nerves that are permeating the vagina. You have the names are escaping me. You have a pudendal nerve in the vagina. You have a vagus nerve that permeates vagina. And there is one more and it's skipping my mind right now. So maybe you can Google it yourself and find the name of the third nerve for yourself. But what I want to offer is that when you regulate, when you balance, when you like really activate the off switch in the, like really in the ecosystem of the vagina, you are going to create the environment for healing. And I do it a lot with my students and with my clients, primarily around like developing a regular jade egg practice that is not focused on strengthening or on like pelvic floor activations, but instead is focused on deep and profound relaxation of the pelvic floor, but all the nerves and vagina, but all the nerves are actually able to really conduct the communication between brain to the body in the most powerful and meaningful way. So incredible. Rio says, whoa, this is the best Facebook Live I've ever seen. Like, I'm listening. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here with me. And it means a lot that this is the best Facebook Live and this actually is offering something valuable. Thank you, Rios, for being here with us. So the first step is mastering the position of the pelvis. The second step is healing the nervous system, turning on the relaxation response in an awakened state. And the third essential step is yoni massage. Now, yoni massage, yoni, taken really from the language of Sanskrit, is really the whole region of female pelvis. So you can think about it like the womb area, the ovaries, the pelvic floor, the clitoris, the opening of vagina, the perineum, all of that is yoni. And yoni massage is basically a space where woman is able to have her circulation increased, improve her nerve conduction, release tension patterns, de-armor parts of the tissues that might be holding on to tension, or on the other side might be not sensitized enough, might be actually lacking a critical sense of conductivity or sensitivity, and allow her to really integrate all these parts of herself into her nervous system. Now, here is the powerful distinction. If I suffer from pain in some part of my body, let's say it's my lower back, all that the lower back is signaling to the brain is pain, 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 pain. What are the decisions I'm going to take as a result? I am very likely going to be overprotective of my lower back. I'm going to probably skip exercises. I will, start to really cushion up my lower back with a lot of bolsters and pillows when I'm maybe driving or when I'm watching TV at night. There will be a lot of armoring and protection mechanism and fear around movement and circulation and really getting it in a conscious way. And guess what? This is the most, how would I even say it? The most challenging, not challenging is not the right word, is the most unsupportive decision I can make for my lower back. Because all the healing in the body, happens through circulation. That is nothing else. The entire ecosystem of your body is striving on circulation. So if I'm living with a chronic pain in my back and I'm preventing the tissues of my lower back to circulate either through, someone touching me or doing exercise, I will never allow the fresh movement of blood and circulation to get in to actually allow my cells to regenerate. And this is one of the most, again, the word is not coming to me, but I'm gonna say it out loud, the worst decision I can take for my lower back. And same thing goes through for vulva. Unfortunately, we don't have Pilates for vulva We have Pilates for lower back. We don't have Pilates for vulva. Having said that, there is some variation of it, especially as I work with my women around jade egg. But when we boil it down to like, how can I bring sensitivity and circulation and contact and touch into my vulva, there is nothing like yoni massage. So if you are lucky enough to be in a relationship or to be married, to actually invite your husband or your partner to regularly massage your vulva and your clitoris and the opening of vagina and your perineum, and you allowing yourself to be present with the process and actually encouraging sounding and using sounds to release discomfort or pain or irritation and numbness, is nothing short of revolutionary. I have literally worked with women who had vulvodynia for like 3 or 4 years, and I have taught them this process of yoni massage. They have done it 2 to 3 times with their partner, and literally vulvodynia like gone, either completely gone or massively released and healed symptoms, and they never went back to the experience that they felt before. So it is incredibly powerful and incredibly supportive. And if you are single, you don't have a lover that can offer that to you, there are definitely the professionals, mainly in big cities around Canada, America, UK, that are actually providing professional yoni massage. So this could be very, very supportive. But even by yourself, like in the safety and privacy of your bedroom, you can really learn how to touch your pelvic floor, how to touch the, the tissues of your vulva in a therapeutic way that will actually foster the healing and the integration. And I have done a YouTube video on like very step-by-step pelvic floor massage that is so supportive for this, and I'll include the link to that once I complete this Facebook Live. So going back, the 3 essential steps for healing vulvodynia. Step number 1 is mastering position of neutral pelvis in standing, in walking, in sitting. This is like a Bible of the position of your body. The second piece is deep healing of your nervous system by activating the relaxation response in a waking state. And third step is a regular yoni massage. Either you receiving it from the partner, you receiving it from a professional, or you providing it for yourself in the safety and comfort of your home. So I'm gonna go through your comments. So Casey says, do you encourage pelvic floor strengthening to adjust position of the pelvis, or is that best done through your relaxation techniques? Okay, so when it comes to adjusting position of the pelvis, if you know that your pelvis is, unstable or is wonky or like does not have enough strength to keep you in a neutral position, instead of strengthening the pelvic floor, which will actually make symptoms of vulvodynia worse, you want to focus on the external muscles of the hips. So strengthening the gluteus medius, that is the major hip abductor. It basically takes your hip away from midline, like when you're doing, like when you're doing a side leg raises. It's superly important. And then also having a bunch of steel, like, really strengthening the posterior chain, really strengthening the gluteal tissues. But then at the same time, because of vulvodynia, fostering the greatest amount of suppleness and relaxation and openness in the pelvic floor and vulva is so important. And then the second part of your question is that best done through your relaxation techniques. So the relaxation techniques are for the step 2, which is really, healing of the nervous system. But for, mastering the neutral pelvis, it's a very individual answer because every body is different. Every body literally like every body, every woman has a different levels of tension in her body, has different level of strengths in her body, has different level of weaknesses in her body. When I work with my clients one-on-one, one of the first thing we do is whole body assessment of how they breathe, of how they move, of how they walk, of how they sleep. And really from that, step-by-step whole body assessment, I get a very clear picture around which part of their body do we need to bring more strength, which part of their body do we need to create more relaxation, so they are literally, optimizing their entire system for supporting this, for mastering neutral pelvis position. So it's not one size fits all, but I would say for you, Casey, yes, strengthening the gluteus medius, strengthening the gluteus maximus, and then fostering the greatest level of relaxation, the pelvic floor. So Laura says, totally, that's why PT is amazing. Do you mean like working with physical therapist is amazing? Could you clarify that for me? And yes, there are a lot of really, really incredible physical therapists who, can support women in either completely healing vulvodynia, or if not completely healing, definitely like lessening the symptoms of vulvodynia and making them feel, so much better. But finding a physical therapist that really understands the body from inside out, but also understands women's sexuality on a deep, deep level is incredibly important. So Bhumika says, I hope I have your name right, Bhumika. Lucky enough to watch this. Yeah, gorgeous. Thank you. And Bhumika asked, hey, what would you suggest about tight pelvic floor, which leads to urgency and frequency? So I guess you are asking me what I would offer for tight pelvic floor that actually creates like urge incontinence. Same thing, pelvic floor relaxation. So what we've covered already, triggering your relaxation response in an awakened state, very, very helpful. I have the guided pelvic floor nidra for that, which is so powerful, and literally at present have been embraced by women all around the world for one single reason: it works. And second big piece is getting the yoni massage. So hey, I have tension in my pelvic floor, how can I foster relaxation? It's the same principle for which people go for a lower back massage. I know I carry the tensions and the stresses of the world in my lower back. So I know I either need to go for regular massage to, really, really good massage therapist, or I need to do something in the comfort of my home or on the go with like self-massage tools that will actually allow me to facilitate the relaxation. I also love doing like a therapy ball work for my pelvic floor using therapeutic balls that basically offer you like a therapeutic touch of really skillful hands-on therapist and allow you to foster relaxation by yourself, which is so powerful. So Bhumika says, we don't have pelvic floor therapists in India. Any suggestion to get help in this regard? Yes, so what I said already, I'm going to include a video that I've done on YouTube for self-induced pelvic floor massage, that you can do it in your own bedroom by yourself using like really beautiful essential oil or like organic lube, and really get in the space of your body by yourself, which is so incredibly empowering. Okay, gorgeous. So thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been an absolute honor, and I am personally on mission to help empower women around vulvodynia, to give them the understanding, the skills, the clarity, the know-how around the tour of their body. Because here is the thing, oftentimes as a woman, We know the streets of our town better than we know the streets of our own pelvic floor and of our own vulvas and vaginas. So if you feel like your friend or your sister or your cousin or someone in a support group that you're involved in needs to hear this, needs to know this message, needs to, start to get empowered with the ways and know-hows into their body, please share this Facebook Live with them. I really, honestly, and with the deepest depths of my heart and of my womb, want to support women out of the darkness from vulvodynia and really invite them not only to be in a space of surviving for the rest of their lives, but to actually thrive. I have no question that if every woman with vulvodynia does only these three things and really masters her position of the pelvis, truly heals her nervous system, and begins to do a regular yoni massage, she will be in few short weeks in a completely different space. So thank you so much for being here with me. I'm going to include the video to self-induced pelvic floor massage. I'm going to include the video to how to align your pelvis when you're sitting. And if you have, certain thing that you would like to share or ask or have my guidance on, and you feel maybe a bit embarrassed or unsure, or you basically want to have the privacy between you and me, feel free to send me a private message and know that I'm here to support your greatest level of health, your greatest level of well-being, and truly allow you to feel amazing. Because guess what? The future of your pelvis depends on that. Thank you so much for being here with me today.